restrictions, if that's what you want to call it, right? And when I read about it from the States, I was thinking then, I wish we were doing something like that. But back home in the United States, it actually became a political thing where when people see you wear a mask, they're assuming you're on one side of the political spectrum, and it's almost like it's so political that when you don't wear a mask, they know that you're on the other side, which is kind of crazy. That is the most ridiculous thing I've seen. As a result of this botched effort at handling the pandemic, we have seen the pandemic spread out of control. So it is actually very dangerous to be in the United States right now. Um, you really seem to enjoy the Panamanian lifestyle. You're here in Panama City. I've seen pictures that you posted even with you and your wife in Panama City, and I said, man, I tell my wife all the time, this guy has the best pictures of anybody on Facebook that I'm dealing with. Has it been easy for you to get around here in Panama City? How much was it a struggle for you when you came here from the United States?
You mean transportation wise?
No, just general. Like for me, I found it to be very easy to not only get around, find a place to rent. You're in a country where the country is a Spanish speaking country. You moved here as a United States citizen who speaks English. How did you deal with that?
Well, I mean, it's not easy. I still struggle with it. I mean, I know the basics. You know how to say good morning, good afternoon. You know where's the bathroom, but you're gonna have to learn. You know, at the very least, rudimentary Spanish. I
Mm-hmm.
want to master Spanish where I can say more than one sentence. Uh, Sometimes it has been difficult. So my building, most of the people speak English in the building, but when I go down the hill to the grocery store, or if I go to the drugstore, a lot of the people don't speak,
Right.
or they speak Spanish, and it's been a struggle sometimes
Mm-hmm.
to communicate. And the language barrier is a big barrier, but as time has gone by, it's gotten easier. Me
Right.
and my wife still have a long way to go
Mm-hmm. Right.
because it's not up for the Panamanians to learn English.
Absolutely.
It's up for me and my wife to learn Spanish. So,
Okay. Absolutely. And that's good. How do you do you have a residency? How are you able to survive here in Panama? I mean, I'm assuming, do you work here at a Panamanian company? Are you retired? How did
okay,
that work out?
sure. So, my wife retired, and it was not time for me to retire, but Panama has the pensionado visa,
Right.
and there's no age requirement for the retirement visa. So I was able to be independent on my wife's pensionado visa. Therefore, I was able to retire when she retired.
Oh, interesting.
So the pensionado visa, you only have to lease, you have to make $1,000 a month in retirement and show proof
Right.
of that income. So my wife makes a lot more than 1,000 a month. So I was able to be independent on the visa, retire, and come down to Panama.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard would you say it was to go through the process of getting that visa?
The visa process is not hard. It took about 3 months.
Really?
And then once you get the visa, the pensionado visa, the very last step is something you get called the e-cedula. And
Mhm.
cedula is essentially what all Panamanians carry. It's a government ID.
Right.
So we just received our e-cedulas the other day, which is lovely.
Okay. Interesting.
So you carry this as opposed to your visa.
Hmm.
Okay. So this trumps everything.
Right. And, it's interesting the way you said that you found Panama. My wife is a HGTV junkie, and she used to watch a lot of shows, and I used to watch those international shows and International House Hunters, and it sparked my interest on moving to other places. But it was really more kind of YouTube, best places to retire, Panama versus